And I'm not just talking about like movies.
Yeah.
Music. When you have songs that are talking about women's body a certain way, and it's just you're like, oh, it's just music, but that's stuff that's going in their head and sinking to their heart, and then that influence. There's a spirit behind that.
Right.
It's not just a simple song; it's a spirit behind that, and so it's identifying those things. If they were on moral decay.
Yeah, moral decay.
If you want to start addressing why it's decay.
Yes.
Say,
right.
Like, this is what happens.
And teach it to your children.
Yeah, this is what happens.
And you can look at history as well. I mean, we are not the first society with moral decay by any means.
Look at the Greeks.
And so, like, you can also look at, like, in history, like what happened, where is that? And it's nothing is new under the sun, right? Nothing is new. The enemy is not creative. He just recycles things over and over and over again. And the more that we equip our children with that knowledge and that understanding, and equip them in spiritual warfare, the less of moral decay is going to be an issue in your child's life.
And you can look up statistics because even on like family things, or sexual things, but you can also see it in like a while back they were talking about rape culture.
Yeah,
that's a big thing. But how can you when you have a culture that puts women on poles and does all these different things? How can you expect a young man's mind that doesn't have Jesus.
Or young women.
Yeah. Or young women. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Or you teach women that you have to flaunt certain parts about your body to get people to acknowledge it. And we live in a culture where fatherlessness is a huge epidemic.
Right.
And so the moral decay comes from the society that's trying to address the issue, but yet they're pumping it full of the garbage because there's a spirit behind it.
Right.
It's trying to break down what God has established, and family is something that God established.
Well, and I would say too, in our culture as millennials, we have a repulsiveness to like purity culture, right? Because in the 80s and 90s that came on strong. It was a huge thing. It wasn't handled correctly and all of that. And so now we're in a position where there's almost an overcorrecting.
Well, the guy who wrote the main book became gay. So
right. Of an overcorrecting of purity culture. And so
can I make a joke about that?
No, you can't. So we have to no jokes. We have to combat that too. But we also have to be able to discern, what is right, what is not right, where does the pendulum fall, and how do we correctly equip our children.
Yeah. And part of that comes through real honest conversations.
Yes. Right.
And because there used to be that whole thing when I was younger that you have to have this talk with your kids about the topic that no parent wants to talk to their kids about, because if you don't, the world will.
Right.
And there's a truth to that.